welcome to Emerald Lake. Hello, hello, it's Raven. Glad to see that people are in again. Oh, goodness, I never removed that. The brushes from earlier was still there. Ignore that. Shush, 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 shush. That never happened. Shush, 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 shush. But okay, we're settled in for our story times. We're back to fairy tales tonight. I'm just making sure I have stuff ready. Ooh. Darn it, yawn attacks. Okay, so we have the next Red Fairy book story. Ooh. And I'm prepped for that. But I wanted to make sure I said hi to everybody that's still here in the beginning. I know Fett probably already left. Fett just was popping in and popping out. But hellos. Okay. Alright. So the first story that I have planned is called The Three Dwarfs. It's a short one. So I should probably pick a second one, or you just get your redeems ready. Get your redeems ready for the very quick thing. Little adjustments. Oh. Okay. Sorry, Discord. That looks great. Fett. Okay. Why is Rage Puffing 800? Because I told you that we have to change the... Hi, Natsu! What is with the inflation? Because I can't manage to do it all. Hi, Natsu! The reason I'm extremely ready, we're gonna finally read a very short, like stupidly short, version of Tir na Nog. So, the story you wanted read, that you had requested, Natsu. Hello. I am doing pretty good. How are you doing? Change of plans. Erase the three dwarves. The dwarves will be next. We start with Tir na Nog. Okay. Ha ha ha. I did. Lahonk, you can cry all you want. I just cannot do it. And I should warn you, there's not just inflation. There's a whole rule. You won't be able to do a bunch of rage puffing requests. Because you can only do one per stream. You only get one Matsu. Only get one everybody. You only get one Lahonk. Because your name popped up. Hello, niece. Hello. Distraction. Okay, so we're gonna start with Tir na Nog, the story of Neve and Ocean, from Natsu Dragon Eel, your request. It's stupid short. I went looking, but I had to give up at a certain point because I couldn't leave you hanging for too long. But we're going to read it. We're going to start there. I have to put it up on the screen. Ooh. And I learned how to do accents at one point. No, that's not it. I think it's this. That was not it. I did it very wrong. There's accents on these. And okay, maybe if I try it like this. Nope, that was not it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna try without the accents. I give up. Okay. There's a couple of accents on the letters that I am not properly appreciating, but yeah. Thank you so much. Of course. Oh, yes. And we have new emotes. Lahong says this is fine in the fire. Because we have those. Oh, what does niece think of my little frog on my head? I have a frog now. Ooh, thanks, Subwinter, for the stretch. I'll do a quick. That felt good. Thank you. Okay. Taking notes, Cage. Alright. Here we go. The legend of Tir na Nog and the Land of Eternal Youth is one of Ireland's most ancient tales. We naming the frogs. Yay! Yes, find names for the little frogs. Natsu, especially if your niece has a name for any of the frogs. There's the two on the one side of the antler, there's one on the one other side of the antler, there's one on my head, and there's the big one on the rock. Participate if you choose. Okay, anyway. The legend of Tir na Nog and the Land of Eternal Youth is one of Ireland's most ancient tales, yes. Many years ago, in Erie, there lived a great and noble warrior named Oisin. Oisin was the son of the legendary Fionn Mac Cumhaill, the leader of Fianna and the protectors of the land. As the Fianna were hunting deer on the shores of Loch Lean in County Kerry one morning, a beautiful woman came riding towards them on a snow-white horse. She was the most beautiful girl they had ever seen, with long golden hair down to her waist, dressed in pale blue and surrounded by light. She rode close to the Fianna and declared, "I am Neve of the golden hair, and my father is king of Tir na Nog, that is, the land of eternal youth. I have heard of a great warrior named Oisin. I have to come to find him and ask him to return with me to the land of the young." Oisin accepted Neve's invitation, having immediately fallen in love with this beautiful princess from another land, and waving goodbye to Fionn and the Fianna, he jumped on the snow-white horse with Neve. Hi, Dumda. Hello. Turtle Boy already redeeming those thank yous. Thank you for the lurkers. Hang on. She wants to name the big one. Just frog. I like it. We'll have to confirm pronunciation. Is it Keiru? But I like it. Keiru. I'm excited. Hi, Scooby Bubby. Hello. And I love that it's just frog, but in Japanese. It's lovely. I'll find frog in Gaia Gehaka, and that will be fun. Sick with a fever. Oh, darn. Okay, sorry. Tir na Nog. Okay, so he's riding off with the pretty lady off to the land of the young. All right. Over the land and the sea, the horse ran, reaching the magical shores of Tir na Nog. The king and queen welcomed Oisin and held a great feast in his honor. It was a magical land where by day Oisin hunted and feasted, and at night he sat and told ancient stories of Fionn, the Fianna, and Ireland. Oisin lived in Tir na Nog for 300 years, but soon the longing to return to the Emerald Isle began to overcome his love of the land of the eternal youth. Neve did not want him to go, but she agreed, warning him that if he were to set foot on the soil of Ireland, he will never be able to return to Tir na Nog. Oisin reached Ireland to find that everything had changed. Well, yeah, it was 300 years. To him it felt as though just 3 short years had passed instead of 300. There was no longer the sight of his father or the Fianna hunting through the hills, and the castle he once called home had now begun to crumble. As he passed through Glian na Smol, the valley of the thrushes, he saw a group of men trying to move a large stone. Oisin wanted to help, leaning down in his saddle to do so and lift the stone, but the saddle strap broke and he fell to the ground. Immediately the magical white and mighty horse galloped away, and all of a sudden the great hero Oisin became a withered, old man aging before the men's very eyes. And there's an image of a very old man very suddenly there. Legend has it that the men were shocked and immediately brought Ocean to St. Patrick. St. Patrick tried to comfort Ocean, but when Ocean learned that the Fianna and his father were long since dead, his heart filled with sadness and despair. Ocean spoke of the days of his life alongside the Fianna and the many great deeds of his father Fionn Mac Cumhale, when they hunted, dined, and listened to great stories together. He spoke of his time in Tir na Nog and his beautiful golden-haired wife, Niamh. Oisin died soon after, never returning to Tir na Nog, but the wonderful stories of Niamh and Oisin have lived on throughout the ages, and the legend of the land of eternal youth remains. Ooh. Oh. Kiru? It'll be more like a Kiru for the frog. I can also look into it, but okay. Yes. Resubbing is nice. I appreciate, but not necessary. It just means that we can make the emotes come in if we can't get enough of them. We're a long ways away, though. Hello and good night. I'm going to use you as a sleep aid tonight. Oh, okay. Aw, thank you, turtle boy. Very cute little sleepy. Who's that hat you're wearing on your antlers, Raven? It's many frogs. All the frogs. They like the fairy tales. They're joining us. They leave for the spoopy stories, but they're here for the fairy tales. I don't know if any of them ever stick around for the for like origami or gamings, but they're here for the fairy tales at least. I think we've officially named the first frog as we've finished our Tir na Nog. Thank you very much for that recommendation, Natsu. So I think that the big one will be that. Fair, I'm not wearing my glasses right now. That's fair. Yeah, they're just blurry little greens. The Tir na Nog is Britain and Emerald Ireland is Ireland. I think it was all Irish. This particular, anyway, but okay. I don't know the full history of it. It said it was Irish, but it's not like I studied it. I have just posture and hydrate to do besides humming. So I'll just hydrate. Woohoo! Did you hear it that time? Big ol' sternum pop. Okay. So the next thing I was gonna say. Oh yay! I'm glad she's excited. Yay. Okay. And I'm gonna try again. It's Kiru, probably. I don't know. That's the big frog on the rock, right? It could be the one on my head, but either one. I had. Oh, what did it do? No, the Dumda. You may be going off to sleeps, but that's a language. It's actually spelled with K's, but it's kind of pronounced like a G. It's one of the indigenous groups that know dear women and such. Yay! Perfect. Okay. Now I know. But maybe I'll do carrier, a different language, a different one. That could be a different one, and that would be fun. I could do a bunch of them names. But anyway, maybe I'll name the little ones like that, and then you guys still have the head, the hat frog. He still needs naming, or she still needs naming, or they still needs naming. It's frog. They don't really subscribe to genders as much. But okay. So, now we have humming and singing frog. So I'll do those. Yawnings. Jeez. Okay. But I will do hummings first. Opte. Oof. Here we go. Right? No. Why is it not? Jeez. Okay, there. There we go. Ooh, Natsu. Freaking insane, or is. The bot hasn't quite recognized that you're requesting love now, but freaking insane, Riz. There you go. Just did it again. Why is it so unhelpful sometimes? There you go. Oh, Scooby's got good Riz too. Wow. You guys are nuts today. Okay. All there is. We had people in earlier today in the other stream, and they didn't do the wrist thing, but they said that they were like, "Ooh, you got that?" Oh, I don't know. That is disappointing. Oh no. Cage, okay, alright. Scooby, why you cry? He's crying for Duda. Okay, gonna start it on the singing frog. Ooh. Why are you doing that? Okay. Oh, Cage gets 100% love. Ah, there you go. Ooh, thank you for the follow. Leo Bardo R. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, welcome. There's Brian with the Riz. Oh, only 65. Darn. Drat. And then, did you ever get? No, Natsu just did lurk. Never got the love. Never pulled that off today. The bot was ignoring you. But okay. And it ignored your roll? Oh no, finally it got your roll. There you go. 10, 13 Riz on the honk. Leobardo says howdy. Howdy. Frog. Yes, they're frogs. And I let everybody have a few of the frogs. They're free because I made too many and I can't fit them all. Raven, you're totally what. Thank you, Brian. Every time you do this, you love bomb me. Okay. Scooby rolled 14. Okay, that's pretty good. You got too many good rolls, Scooby. Roll love and you'll probably get a bad number. But if you get a good number, you broke the bot. You got all the good numbers. You normally don't do that. But okay. Singer frog. Here we go. There was our singing frog. Looks like the love command is being consistent. And there is a bit of a cooldown. So if someone else uses it, I think you have to give it a minute. I'm not sure. I didn't put up cooldowns on it. So sorry that's not cooperating. Sorry about that. Sorry I didn't roll too great for the loves. The honk. Brian. They're not marvelous, but they're pretty good. Thanks for making this awesome start, Raven. I'm sorry you had a bad end yesterday to the day. I'm glad you're having a better start today. Thank you for telling us that at least this is better. We have card dealing next. Always here, hoping to give the positive rides. Yeah, that bot is just not cooperating with a loved one. I don't like that. I may have to go back in there and poke around at those cooldowns. Okay, cards, dealings. Off frigid. Frizz. Pretty meh. Pretty mid. Okay. is not a nice noise. Oh goodness. Why is this so stiff now? My mic is very inconsistent. Between the arm and it itself, there's some very loose bits, and then there's suddenly very tight, and I don't know what to do with it. Okay, I'm seeing. Ooh! Sour cream and onion flavor Pringles. Ignis, are you okay? Sorry, since when? Okay, scoot, scoot, scoot. Yeah, Scooby, it looks like it keeps ignoring you, and I don't know why. It did the same thing to Natsu, to be fair. I don't know why. It's on major cooldown or something. You just realized you got 100% twice in a row. I'm scared. All the love and positive vibes, and then you say, yeah, I mean, I told you I'm tall and built like a house, right? If I go for walks and people glance back, they start walking faster, and old ladies pull their purses. That's awful. I'm sorry you're feeling that right now. That's a lot to deal with. Oh. Someone has sent me a photo of dogs. It's a golden lab. It's a cute dog. Hee. I like. I will have to respond later. That's what the mood was. Okay. And Fetzer's headed to bed because of a drive in the morning. Frick. Goes to bed. Sleep well. Good luck with drive. Oh my goodness. It's all in the Cupid power. Yep. Oh, whoa. And things bubbled up. Frigid got 41. Sorry, Frigid, that's not great. Ooh, thank you for the follow, Lake Hattie VA. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Sorry, Scoop. Sour cream and onion? Yes, sir. It is good also. It is good also. Oop. You got 50%. Hey, that's not bad. Who else got the 50% today? Someone else got 50%. Ignis. Oh, that is tough. That is not nice. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I back up. Casual, I hear sour cream and onion. No, I want that. Darn it, you guys. Your Riz was 50. Aha! Oh, okay. So you're both just not doing great on a number. Yeep! Look at that, Siva! You got the other number freaking insanely good. Wow! That is nuts. We have 3 over 100 levels today. That's nonsense. Wow. Okay, people aren't worth the negative feelings. You know who you are and what you're worth, Dumda. Absolutely right, Cage. Absolutely right. Thank you for saying that. Agnes got 90% on numbers. You're not good at the numbers today. Maybe if you roll, you'll get a good number, Ignis. Rhythm with the tism, baby. Only fans enjoy her. Oh, well, that and there are sirens going past my house. Ooh, they woke you up. Sirens. Woo, woo, woo. Might as well do my tests. Maybe. If they don't stop, definitely good thing to do. But if they do stop, go bed. 6%. Oh, turtle boy, only 6%. I'm going to as an owning myself. New one. Stop. Killer frog on the loose. Funny coming from Bridget. I was expecting that to be more of a little honk. Okay. Turret got 65. Turret got 15. Ignis did not manage to roll. Only got a 13. You're getting a lot of good numbers. You got your bad. Ooh, see, Ignis, you got a great roll. That's what you get. There you go. Thank you for the follow. I always say the name, so I'm gonna enjoy this one. Thank you for following, Anita Hardcock 11. Thank you. Welcome in. There we go. Finally, yes. Well, my luck has run out. It seems it can only last so long, Oni. Everyone, just so you know, you are stronger than you know. You have overcome 100% of your bad days, and that makes you amazing. See how Brian just is like love bombing all the time. Look at him love bombing all the resties. 6 Riz, 65% love. Clip it. Someone clip that. You rude little dude. Okay. We're moving along. 5 love, 19 Riz. 18 out of 20 roll. Woo! Okay. I did the card dealing. I have keys. I have tappy taps. And then I'm going to stop at rage puffing. I'm going to do keys, tappy taps, rage puffing. And then we're going to do the next story, okay? And then I'll do the other ones after that story. So here we go. Third is certainly an interesting username. Oh, yes. And I think the sirens are done, so back to Eeps. Oh, good. Good to hear that, turtle. Okay. Keep. Cards is done. Keys is up. Here we go. Cage, look at that. We'll put down the keys. Thank you for giving that to Dum Duck Cage. You're so nice. Oh, not attacks. You're not letting me go. Beep. Okay. Whoa. And his name is Cage Nightwind. Okay. Everyone, we have our tradition. You know what to do. There was a gift. What do we do to gifts? There is. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? There you go, Dumda. You have subscribe. Drop your money, frogs, and thanks. Random money, frog. If you have access to the frogs and you are not lurking and trying to fall asleep, you should be dropping some frickin' money, frogs. Okay. Thank you very much, Cage, for giving that to Dumda. We appreciate. Oh my gosh. I hate my freaking yawn attacks. We have next the tappy taps. Ooh, lots of frogs from Frigid. They're a sweetheart. It's the tiny little good I can do. That is very nice of you, Cage. Dumda is sweetheart. I'm going to use empty bottle. I have bottle that is somewhat full, but I'm going to use the empty bottle for this. Okay. Glad you have access to frogs. You can use all the new frogs now. Alright, here we go. Jihee! Gihee! Thanks, dude. It's cute. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do the taps. Okay, that was our bottle taps. And now for a very hard turn. Be prepared to be sputtered awake. It's rage puffing time. The only one of the stream. I have a new rule. Because I should not be turning into a beatbox all the time during an ASMR stream. People will not fall asleep to that. So here we go with rage puffing. You think I need to shower? They're here because they want to be here. I am a friend. I am transportation. But also, I am friend. They get to stay here if they want to be here. Okay. Alright. Rage puffing. On attack while puffing. Oh, I did put a cooldown in place, buddy. I did it. I got the job done. It's a mess. I'm not trying to beatbox. I'm trying to rage puff. Imagine a Karen that's raging but doesn't know what to say. How did you do that? Oh, it's one per person. That's fine. Cage is like, you can do it. If you still intend to redeem that, you can leave that up, Cage. Or you can refund it if you'd like. Okay, good. Feel free to lurk, Odie fans. I don't know why they didn't do that. Rage puffing just sounds like you're losing a game of war. Yeah, kind of. That's one way. But laughing, it's so stupid. You've almost got it down, Raven. What? The rage puffing? I will never get it down. It is its own weird version every time. Sounds like you're falling down 20 flights of stairs. Yes. Okay, I'm reading all of this terribly out of order, but I am reading it. Yawns. Rude. Okay. I don't want to do rage puffing all the time because it just is it blows out ears and people are always like, what in the fork am I listening to? And I'm like, look, somebody mixed it up and it became fun, but I also can't do it all the time, so fair. But okay, that was rage puffing. Boop boop. We're going to transition back to stories. Woo. But I'll go door the boom puff to first. Oh, that's gonna be a fun one to read. Okay, I'm going. I'm going to drink some of my drink. Okay. Well, alright, I'll read the trigger word now. I was trying to debate, but I've decided. Okay. Bicycle brand playing cards. Have them, never use them until your friend comes over and pretends he's cool by bending the crud out of your cards. Then buy another pack of bicycle brand playing cards. To be fair, that's not how mine get used. I bought mine specifically for this, and they are being used for this. They get used very regularly. We'll get you beatboxing it. No. Oh no. Oh no. Doing a Raymond Holt not very well. Okay. What was I? Yes, that's what I was. The story I thought that I would start with, and then I didn't do. And now we're nearly an hour in, despite the story that I read being very short, because there was just so much going on. Saying hi to all of you goof buckets. The Three Dwarfs. It's not dwarves, how you would normally pluralize that, but dwarfs. Cool. And that way you buy 2 packs and get a pack of cheap cards. Frigid Bungo. Cool. Okay, here we go. The Three Dwarfs. Boop. Ha. Settle. Okay, Raven. Ready. Dwarfs. Yeah. Hey, sorry. Okay. There was, once upon a time, a man who lost his wife, and a woman who lost her husband. Ooh. And the man had a daughter, and so had the woman. Okay, so we've got 2 daughters. I'm going to guess one of them will be pretty, and the other one will not. And that will determine everything about them. Yep. Wait, y'all don't want to learn the boom da da beatama box? I do not. Not as of yet. Okay, sorry. Focusing. Okay, so they both have daughters. Cool. The 2 girls were great friends and often used to play together. Hey, cool. One day the woman turned to the man's daughter and said, "Go and tell your father that I will marry him, and then you shall wash in milk and drink wine, but my own daughter shall wash in water and drink it too." What? You're gonna make your daughter drink bathwater? If you get married to that, why? Okay. The girl went straight home and told her father what the woman had said. "What am I to do?" he answered. "Marriage is either a success or it is a failure." What? Okay. At last, being of an undecided character, not being able to make up his mind, he took off his boot and handing it to his daughter said, "Take this boot, which has a hole in the sole. Hang it up on a nail in the hayloft and pour water into it. If it holds water, I will marry again. But if it doesn't, I won't." Okay. The girl did as she was bid, but the water drew the hole together, and the boot filled up to the very top. Well, I guess there you go. You're gonna go ahead. So she went and told her father the result. He got up and went to see for himself, and when he saw that it was true and no mistake, he accepted his fate, proposed to the widow, and they were married at once. Bathwater isn't for selling. Everyone knows that. Me flavored water, 15 cents. I didn't put on the voice, but from Disenchantment, that's a good little bit. Okay. So he's gonna get married. Oh, Lahonk! What are you doing? You want me to drink? You want me to have drink? I will hydrate. But why are you paying? Why are you giving bits? Yes, drop your money, Frau. We have been given a gift. We must money, Frau, for gift. What the heck? What the heck in the heck? Lahonk. The bathwater bit. Okay. You goof bucket. You're something. But okay. Here we go. Okay, so they're gonna get married, and this is gonna be weird. On the morning after the wedding, when the two girls awoke, milk was standing for the man's daughter to wash in, and wine for her to drink. But for the woman's daughter, only water to wash in, and only water to drink. Okay, so two separate waters. That's good. That one, okay, good. On the second morning, water to wash in and water to drink was standing for the man's daughter as well. And on the third morning, water to wash in and water to drink was standing for the man's daughter, and milk to wash in and wine to drink for the woman's daughter. Ooh. Okay. So it swapped around. And so it continued ever after. Does that mean the one girl always, or that there's always that sort of little swap over routine? The woman hated her stepdaughter from the bottom of her heart and did all she could to make her life miserable. Ugh, yuck. Why? Why do we do this? Okay. She was as jealous as she could possibly be because the girl was so beautiful and charming, while her own daughter was both ugly and repulsive. I did say that that's how that was going to be, didn't I? Do you want your milk bath water to be pasteurized? No, just up to my neck. What the heck, Bridget? It feels like that's a dad joke that's like in a book. But where else is there milk bath water? So, okay, wow. Alrighty. But okay. Stepmom is terrible. Dad's daughter is getting the bad end of the stick now, even though she was promised the nice stuff at first. And she's pretty and charming, while mom's daughter is not great. Wow, that'd give a boost of confidence. Geez, poor daughter. Yeah. Well, I mean, it didn't say that she said that. It says that this is the way the world was. So, anyway. One winter's day, when there was a hard frost, and mountain and valley were covered with snow, the woman made a dress of paper, and calling the girl to her, she said, "There, put on this dress and go out into the wood and fetch me a basket of strawberries." In the freeze? What the hell? "Now heaven help us," replied her stepdaughter. "Strawberries don't grow in winter. The earth is all frozen and the snow has covered up everything. And why send me in a paper dress? It is so cold outside that one's very breath freezes. The wind will whistle through my dress and the brambles tear it away from my body." "How dare you contradict me," said her stepmother. "Be off with you at once, and don't show your face again till you have filled the basket with strawberries." So this is just one of those, I'm going to give you an impossible task, so you fuck off and I never see you again. Classic. Then she gave her a hard crust of bread. Ooh, tiny bit of food. "That will be enough for you today." And she thought to herself, "The girl will certainly perish of hunger and cold outside, and I shan't be bothered with her any more." Yep, there you go. Still, though, kind of proud getting labeled the ugly one. Yeah, it's no nice. And it was vaguely that she was ugly and mean, or not very friendly, not charming, but anyway. Okay. So stepmom is like, yeah, she'll die. It's good. Excuse me. It's good. You know how well paper isolates heat? Can actually be very good. You just want more of it. It's not good for wind. The girl was so obedient that she put on the paper dress and set out with her little basket. There was nothing but snow far and near, and not a green blade of grass to be seen anywhere. When she came to the wood, she saw a little house, and out of it peeped 3 little dwarfs. She wished them good day and knocked modestly at the door. They called out to her to enter, so she stepped in and sat down on a seat by the fire, wishing to warm herself and eat her breakfast. The dwarf said at once, "Give us some of your food." "Gladly," she said, and breaking her crust in two, she gave them the half. Then they asked her what she was doing in the depths of winter in her thin dress. "Oh," she answered, "I have been sent to get a basket full of strawberries, and I daren't show my face again at home till I bring them with me." When she had finished her bread, they gave her a broom and told her to sweep away the snow from the back door. As soon as she left the room to do so, the 3 little men consulted what they should give her as a reward for being so sweet and good, and for sharing her last crust with them. The first said, "Every day she shall grow prettier." The second, "Every time she opens her mouth, a piece of gold shall fall out." And the third, "A king shall come and marry her." The girl in the meantime was doing as the dwarfs had bidden her, and was sweeping the snow away from the back door. And what do you think she found there? Heaps of fine, ripe strawberries that showed out dark red against the white snow. She joyfully picked enough to fill her basket, thanked the little men for their kindness, shook hands with them, and ran home to bring her stepmother what she had asked for. When she walked in and said, "Good evening," a piece of gold fell out of her mouth. Then she told what had happened to her in the wood, and at every word pieces of gold dropped from her mouth, so that the room was soon covered with them. I'm sure that would be really annoying. And you could talk yourself into drowning in money, so that's a problem. But anyway. "She's surely more money than wit to throw gold about like that," said her stepsister, but in her secret heart she was very jealous. "Yeah, I don't think it's actually stupid to throw gold about when it's falling out of your mouth. Bodies don't naturally do that. She doesn't have a choice. It would be stupider for her to try and keep it in her face. You're an idiot, but okay. Also, isn't this her home? Isn't this the place where she should be putting it all? Oh well. Anyway, okay, stepsister was jealous and determined that she would go to the wood and look for strawberries. But her mother refused to let her go, saying, "My dear child, it is far too cold. You might freeze to death." Ugh. Okay, so now she's pretty and puking gold. Yes. Well, she's going to grow even more prettier as she grows up all the time. And marry a prince eventually. But for now, she is pretty and only going to get more pretty, and also gold. So here we go. Mom said, "Okay, you can't go get the strawberries." The girl, however, left her no peace, so she was forced at last to give in, but she insisted on her putting on a beautiful fur cloak, and she gave her bread and butter and cakes to eat on the way. Okay, so eventually, stepmom does let her own daughter leave to go for the strawberries. The girl went straight to the little house in the wood, and as before, the 3 little men were looking out of the window. She took no notice of them, and without as much as a "by your leave" or "with your leave," she flounced into the room, sat herself down at the fire, and began to eat her bread and butter and cakes. "Give us some," cried the dwarfs, but she answered, "No, I won't. It's hardly enough for myself, so catch me giving you any." That little "so catch me giving you any" sounds very modern. Like, it sounds like Gen Alpha almost. Okay. When she had finished eating, they said, "There's a broom for you. Go and clear up your back door." Go and clear up our back door. Either way, that sounded a little bit weird, but okay. "I'll see myself further," she answered rudely. "Do it yourselves. I'm not your servant." And I mean, like, that's fair. She's not your servant. but like, you charged into their house, so kind of weird, but okay. Talk about double standard. Yep. And hold or not choking hazard is still a choking hazard. Yep. Gold or not, it is still a choking hazard. Okay. When she saw that they did not mean to give her anything, she left the house in no amiable frame of mind. Then the three little men consulted what they should do to her, because she was so bad and had such an evil, covetous heart, that she grudged everybody their good fortune. She shall grow uglier every day. Every time she speaks, a toad shall jump out of her mouth. She shall die a most miserable death. Oh, I didn't say the first said, the second, and the third, but anyway, you get the point. And the last one feels a bit much. It feels a bit harsh. You've already made her ugly and have toads jumping out of her mouth, which, I mean, if frogs were currency, or if you had a frog leg restaurant, you could do well. But otherwise, yeah. Or what if they were like endangered toads? Scientists would be very pleased with you. But anyway, I kind of sort of feel a moral coming on. Yes, as always. That's what these are for. The girl searched for strawberries, but she found none, and returned home in a very bad temper. When she opened her mouth to tell her mother what had befallen her in the wood, a toad jumped out, so that everyone was quite disgusted with her. Then the stepmother was more furious than ever, and did nothing but plot mischief against the man's daughter, who was daily growing more and more beautiful. At last one day the wicked woman took a large pot, put it on the fire, and boiled some yarn in it. When it was well scalded, she hung it round the poor girl's shoulder. Oh my God! And giving her an axe, she bade her break a hole in the frozen river and rinse the yarn in it. What? Her stepdaughter obeyed as usual, and went and broke a hole in the ice. When she was in the act of wringing out the yarn, a magnificent carriage passed, and the king sat inside. The carriage stood still, and the king asked her, "My child, who are you, and what in the wide world are you doing here?" She's probably got burns on her back, considering the mom took the stuff out of the pot. She had got it scalding, but maybe she let it cool down first. I don't know. And now she's freezing outside, too. "I am only a poor girl," she answered, "and am rinsing out my yarn in the river." When the king was sorry for her, and when he saw how beautiful she was, he said, "Will you come away with me?" "Most gladly," she replied, for she knew how willingly she would leave her stepmother and sister, and how glad they would be to be rid of her. And I'm going to remind everyone, Dad was at the start and has been irrelevant ever since the boot decision. That's all. That's it. I mean, he gave it some thought, but then he is never heard from again. Okay. So she stepped into the carriage and drove away with the king. And when they reached his palace, the wedding was celebrated with much splendor. So all turned out just as the little dwarfs had said. After a year, the queen gave birth to a little son. When her stepmother heard of her good fortune, she came to the palace with her daughter by way of paying a call, and took up her abode there. Now one day, when the king was out and nobody else near, the bad woman took the queen by her head, and the daughter took her by her heels, and they dragged her from her bed, and flung her out of the window into the stream which flowed beneath it. Then the stepmother laid her ugly daughter in the queen's place, and covered her up with the clothes, so that nothing of her was seen. When the king came home and wished to speak to his wife, the woman called out, "Quietly, quietly. This will never do. Your wife is very ill. You must let her rest all today." The king suspected no evil, and didn't come again until the next morning, when he spoke to his wife, and she answered him, instead of the usual piece of gold, a toad jumped out of her mouth. When he asked what it meant, oh yeah, her there by the river saying, "Oh, I'm just poor, rinsing my yarn by the river," and gold stumbling out of her mouth. Yeah, you're clearly a very poor girl. What? If you just talked a bunch, you'd have a bunch of gold jump out of your face. But okay, sure, you're poor. Sorry. Maybe that's why the king kind of took you? No? Okay. Anyway. Okay, so the toad jumped out of the pretending queen. Then he asked what it meant, and the old woman told him it was nothing but weakness, and that she would soon be all right again. But that same evening the scullion noticed a duck swimming up the gutter, saying as it passed, "What does the king, I pray ye tell? Is he awake, or sleeps he well?" And receiving no reply, it continued, "And all my guests, are they asleep?" And the scullion answered, "Yes, one, and all they slumber deep." Yes, one and all they slumber deep. Then the duck went on, "And what about my baby dear?" And he answered, "Oh, it sleeps soundly, never fear." When did you realize that the duck was the queen, and why have you not done anything about it yet? Huh? Then the duck assumed the queen's shape. Oh, so then why was she a duck in the first place? What? Why is she a duck? And why is she able to just, nah, now I'm not a duck? How did you get out of... Okay, anyway. Scullion says, "Yeah, your baby sleeps soundly." Somehow, knowing that it's the queen? I don't know. The duck assumed the queen's shape, went up to the child's room, tucked him up comfortably in his cradle, and then swam back down the gutter. So she's swimming. Okay. Swam back down the gutter again in the likeness of a duck. Why? Why duck? This was repeated for 2 nights, and on the third, the duck said to the scullion, "Go and tell the king to swing his sword 3 times over me on the threshold." Okay. Why are you doing duck? Why are you choosing duck? I'm just lost. Ooh, thank you for following. Coco Nocto? Welcome in. Thank you for following. Okay. It's just freaking weird. And swing his sword 3 times over me on the threshold. Okay. Over you or like through you, you know? The king rejoiced great. Oh yeah, and is the duck puking gold at that point? Is that how they know it's the queen? Because that could be a good tip. Okay, anyway. The scullion did as the creature bade him, and the king came with his sword and swung it 3 times over the bird, and lo and behold, his wife stood before him once more, alive and as blooming as ever. But we already said that the duck assumed the queen's shape. Why did we have to do the pageantry? Why did we have to have the sword? Huh? 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 No? Okay, fine. Hi, Darkstorm. Hello. She pretty pukes gold, and now she's like, "Oh, I'm a shapeshifter too." Yeah, but only kind of? Seems like, oh yeah, I'm under a spell. But like when I'm going to see my son, I'm fine. I can take over myself. But then I'm immediately a duck again. Don't worry about it. And you knew it was me as soon as you saw me. But like, yeah. Oh my gosh, Darkstorm, that was a bad roll. Yipes. Oh wow. I'm sorry. That's a big cry. Okay, just a little bit left of this story. Okay, but now she's his wife again, blooming as ever. The king rejoiced greatly, but he kept the queen in hiding till the Sunday on which the child was to be christened. After the christening, he said, "What punishment does that person deserve who drags another out of bed and throws him or her, as the case may be, into the water?" Hey, he's giving 2 genders. He didn't just say him, but I guess it is the woman. But I don't know. It's not terribly common with the super old, but anyway. Then the wicked old stepmother answered, "No better fate than to be put into a barrel lined with sharp nails and to be rolled in it down the hill into the water." Why are you subjecting your daughter to that? "You have pronounced your own doom," said the king, and he ordered a barrel to be made, lined with sharp nails, and in it he put the bad old woman and her daughter, both of them. Good. Then it was fastened down securely, and the barrel was rolled down the hill till it fell into the river. The end. Miserable death. Check. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, just wow. Just wow. So she pretty pukes gold as a shapeshifter, but only on Wednesdays. on Wednesdays, we don't wear our feathers. Instead of on Wednesdays, we wear pink. I guess that is still on Wednesdays, we wear pink. If this is a white queen, you know, light-skinned. But okay. That was something. The Three Dwarfs. All right. They do that a lot now. Like, we're seeing more and more of these. They're ruined, and someone tries to take their place, and then the other person comes in to see their child thing, but they're still shapeshifty, but not consistently, and they have to have someone do a whole, thing to release them, but actually they could have changed back. They did change back before. That's popped up in a couple of them now, which could just be, that's how that one story evolved into this story, or vice versa, but it reads a lot like, why are they obsessed with that? It feels weird. What happened? Why do they think that? It's just odd. Okay. Oh, hydrate. Okay. Okay. Well, we're gonna do some redeems. So let's do some scissors. There we go. We actually still have an old set of scissor snips, Killer Cam. So your set of scissor snips I'll do next break. But I'll do scissor snips and then mic arm sharpening. Okay, that was our scissor snips. That's called mic arm sharpening because I'm using the microphone arm to make a sharpening like noise. And I'm just seeing your other thing that was a normal punishment here back in the day, like the olden times. The issue I was like kind of calling out wasn't that it was like absurd or not real. It was that, woman, you dug your own grave. When someone's like, what do you think the punishment should be for insert crime you've done? Even if you don't think anybody knows. Don't say, yeah, the worst things ever. You're gonna get punished with it. It's gonna be yours. Maybe you say, I think a couple days in a cushy padded cell, lots of food, good book to read. Oh, yeah, that would be really tough for me to put up with. That's the punishment that deserves. But okay, here goes mic arm sharpening. Okay. See if this will make too much noises. It is. make angry noises. Sure, keep bumping. There you go with the mic arm sharpening. Rabbit Imperial Guard, not actually knives being sharpened, but intending to do that sound. Just because I have the knife sharpener, but if I'm not using it much, like the knife, and I just sharpen it a billion times, I worry by the time I end up actually using it and go to wash it, I'll cut myself or slice straight through my my scrubber, and then, you know, it's ruined little knit scrubber, and maybe cut myself. I'd rather not. So, hopefully the mic arm sharpening is the best, and I will bring in real knife sharpening when I've done a bunch of cutting. When I've gotta go chop a bunch of stuff, or I have tomatoes I want to chop soon. Okay, bye-bye. See you another time. We'll have you later. If we have another redeem, I'll do that. But if not, the next story is called Dapplegrim. One word. Dapplegrim. You can sharpen a knife forever if you always sharpen it poorly. Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, I guess I do it too well. Okay. Well, not forever, just till it's not a knife anymore. Just becomes a spiky stick. Oh, I wasn't telling you you're leaving. I was telling you that it was nice. You said have a nice one and was being nice to Darkstorm. Yeah. We'll do Dapplegrim now then, since there's no other redeems. Here we go. Whoop. There we go. Whoop. And it's Dapplegrim. Ah, why is that say? My frickin' the model gets so freaked out if there's anything in the way. I'll tuck behind my mic trying to reach something or something, and it's like she's headbutting the screen or she's running away, and it's just weird. But anyway, okay. Here we are, Dapplegrim. Yeah, you're still here. It's good. It's good. And we'll do scissor snips very next. It's massively effective. It's all good. Okay, here we go. There was once upon a time a couple of rich folks who had 12 sons. Okay. And when the youngest was grown up, he would not stay at home any longer, but would go out to the world and seek his fortune. His father and mother said that they thought he was very well off at home, and that he was welcome to stay with them. But Ho could not rest. I think that's supposed to say he. He could not rest, and said that he must and would go. So alas, they had to give him leave. When he had walked a long way, he came to a king's palace. There he asked for a place, and got it. Now, the daughter of the king of that country had been carried off into the mountains by a troll. This feels like I was kind of giggling a little bit. I saw a troll, and I saw the rich, people, 12 sons, and he's off looking for his own fortune. I'm a little bit like Hans from Frozen. Hello? But okay. King of that country, the daughter of the king had been carried away, and the king had no other children. Ah, okay, we're different. And for this cause, both he and all his people were full of sorrow and affliction. Yes, and affliction. And the king had promised the princess and half his kingdom to anyone who could set her free. But there was no one who could do it, though a great number had tried. So when the youth had been there for the space of a year or so, he wanted to go home again to pay his parents a visit. But when he got there, his father and mother were dead, and his brothers had divided everything that their parents possessed between themselves, so that there was nothing at all left for him. Oof. Shall I then receive nothing at all of my inheritance? Asked the youth. Who could know that you were still alive, you who have been a wanderer so long? Answered the brothers. However, there are 12 mares upon the hills, which we have not yet divided among us, and if you would like to have them for your share, you may take them. So the youth, 12 mares, okay, fine, well pleased with this, thanked them, and at once set off to the hill where the 12 mares were at pasture. When he got up there and found them, each mare had her foal, and by the side of them there was a big dapple gray foal as well, which was so sleek that it shone again. Why again? Anyway. Well, my little foal, you are a fine fellow. By the side of one of them was a dapple gray foal. Okay, yeah. You are a fine fellow, said the youth. Yes, but if you will kill all the other little foals so that I can suck all the mares for a year, you shall see how big and handsome I shall be then, said the foal. So the youth did this. He killed all the 12 foals and then went back again. I feel like this mirrors just a little too much of, hey, of the 12 of us sons, the earlier ones got to have all the stuff, but you got shorted. But imagine if you didn't have any siblings, then you'd have gotten all the money. And so this little foal is like, hey, get rid of the other 11 so that I could get all the stuff from all of them. It feels just a little too direct. We get it. You wish you didn't have to split your money with your siblings. Get over it. But okay. So the youth did this. He killed all of them and went back again. Next year, when he came home again to look after his mares and the foal, so he just left for a year? You didn't do anything with them? You didn't look after them? You didn't make sure that nothing happened? The brothers were right. How were they to know that you were alive? Okay. He went to look at the foal. It was as fat as it could be, and its coat shone with brightness, and it was so big that the lad had the greatest difficulty in getting on its back, and each of the mares had another foal. Well, okay, they've got new foals. That's something, at least. Well, it's very evident that I have lost nothing by letting you suck on my mares, said the lad to the yearling. Just such a weird... Anyway, okay. But now you are quite big enough, and must come away with me. No, said the colt. I must stay here another year. Kill the 12 little foals. Oh my gosh, we're doing this again. Kill the 12 little foals, and then I can suck all the mares this year also, and you shall see how big and handsome I shall be by summer. How many times are you going to say that, though? Yeah, it looks like he's going to do it 3 times. Okay, classic. So the youth did it again, and when he went up on the hill next year to look at his colt and the mares, each of the mares had her foal again. But the dappled colt was so big that when the lad wanted to feel its neck to see how fat it was, he could not reach up to it. It was so high? ? Huh? And it was so bright that the light glanced off its coat. This is, something. Yeah, it's interesting with the talking horse. Hey, I mean, you had to something back in olden times when you were bored, I guess. This is just nonsense. But anyway, okay. Big and handsome you were last year, my colt, but this year you are ever so much handsomer, said the youth. In all the king's court, no such horse is to be found, but now you shall come away with me. No, said the dappled colt once more. Here I must stay for another year. Just kill the 12 little foals again so that I can suck the mares this year also, and then come and look at me in the summer. So the youth did it. He killed all the little foals, and then went home again. So he has killed 35 horses. 35 babies. Need a grappling hook just to climb the thing? Yeah, I guess so. Oh my gosh. Okay. But next year, when he returned to look after the dappled colt and the mares, he was quite appalled. He had never imagined that any horse could become so big and overgrown, for the dappled horse had to lie down on all fours before the youth could get on its back, and it was very hard to do that even when it was lying down, and it was so plump that its coat shone and glistened just as if it had been a looking-glass. This time the dappled horse was not unwilling to go away with the youth, so he mounted it, and when he came riding home to his brothers, they all smote their hands together and crossed themselves, for never in their lives had they either seen or heard tell of such a horse as that. So they didn't even look at them either. Freaking rookie numbers? Bratty. Okay. Nobody could believe the horse, right? If you will procure me the best shoes for my horse, and the most magnificent saddle and bridle that can be found, said the youth, you may have all my 12 mares, just as they are standing out on the hill, and their 12 foals into the bargain. So they had, yet again, another set of foals. That's nice. Considering he only has mares, where are they getting pregnant? No? Okay. For this year, also, each mare had her foal. Yes, the brothers were quite willing to do this, so the lad got shoes for his horse. Oh, no. Sorry. Shoes for his horse, that the sticks and stones flew high up into the air as he rode away over the hills, and such a gold saddle and such a gold bridle that they could be seen glittering and glancing from afar. And now we will go to the king's palace, said Dapplegrim, for that was the horse's name. But bear in mind that you must ask the king for a good stable and excellent fodder for me. Life finds a way. Okay, so the lad promised not to forget to do that. He rode to the palace, and it will be easily understood that with such a horse as he had, he was not long on the way. When he arrived there, the king was standing out on the steps, and how he did stare at the man who came riding up. Nay, said he, never in my whole life have I seen such a man and such a horse. Oh, was the youth cool too? Seems like it's just that the horse is amazing, but okay. And when the youth inquired if he could have a place in the king's palace, the king was so delighted that he could have danced on the steps where he was standing, just because he has a nice horse. Anyway, and then the lad was told that he should have a place. It's like if you drove up to a place and was like, I got a Lamborghini, you got a job for me? And then they were like, hot dog! And they jumped and they got all excited and said, yes, please. No, that's really freaking weird. But okay. was dancing on the steps where he was standing in there, and then was told that he should have a place. Yes, but I must have a good stable and most excellent fodder for my horse, said he. So they told him that he should have sweet hay and oats, and as much of them as the dappled horse chose to have, and all the other riders had to take their horses out of the stable, that Dapplegrim might stand alone and really have plenty of room. You're not going to give the horse friends? I think this horse that demanded so many deaths, could probably use some friends. But anyway, okay. Fine. But this did not last long, for the other people in the king's court became envious of the lad, and there was no bad thing that they would not have done to him if they had but dared. At last they bethought themselves of telling the king that the youth had said that, if he chose, he was quite able to rescue the princess, who had been carried off into the mountain a long time ago by the troll. This stuff don't work like that. This horse be using up its credits. Okay, so they're trying to say that, like, the youth said that he could have rescued the princess if he wanted to. So the king immediately summoned the lad into his presence and said that he had been informed that he had said that it was in his power to rescue the princess, so he was now to do it. If he succeeded in this, he no doubt knew that the king had promised his daughter and half the kingdom to anyone who set her free. I will remind, they didn't say any man or whatever, they said anyone, so like a lady could have gotten the princess, and that's pretty cool. I mean, in theory, based on the letter of the king's law. But probably he would have just changed his mind. But anyway, does the guy end up trading the haunts to the troll? I have a feeling the horse is going to be, like, kicking the troll's butt. I don't know how. But I think that's it. Okay, so... Yes, if he succeeded this, he knew he promised anyone that said they're free to have the princess, which promise should be faithfully and honorably kept, but if he failed, he should be put to death. Why do you do that? If they fail, they go to death? That just means no one's going to want to try. Don't be an idiot. Anyway, okay. The youth denied that he had said this, but all to no purpose, for the king was deaf to all his words, so there was nothing to be done but say that he would make the attempt. All right. Rage puffing got hit with the inflation. Yes, it did. In this economy? Yeah. Okay. So he's gonna have to go. He went down into the stable, and very sad and full of care he was. Then Dapplegrim inquired why he was so troubled, and the youth told him, and said that he did not know what to do. For as to setting the princess free, that was downright impossible. And that was in quotes, I guess that's what he had said. Oh, but it might be done, said Dapplegrim. I will help you, but you must first have me well shod. You must ask for 10 pounds of iron, and 12 pounds of steel for the shoeing, and 1 smith to hammer, and 1 to hold. So the youth did this, and no one said him nay. He got both the iron and the steel, and the smiths, and thus was Dapplegrim shod strongly and well, and when the youth went out of the king's place, a cloud of dust rose up behind him. But when he came to the mountain, into which the princess had been carried, the difficulty was to ascend the precipitous wall of rock by which he was to get on to the mountain beyond. Yeah, you don't need a jacked horse, you need a goat. Anyway. For the rock stood right up on end, as steep as a house side and as smooth as a sheet of glass. Was it really? But okay. The first time the youth rode at it, he got a little way up the precipice, but then both Dapplegrim's 4 legs slipped, and down came horse and rider. Why does it say both Dapplegrim's 4 legs? I misread that. Not the number 4, front legs. They're forward legs. Okay. And down they went with a sound like thunder among the mountains. The next time that he rode up at it, he got a little farther up, but then one of Dapplegrim's 4 legs slipped, and down they went with the sound of a landslip. But the third time Dapplegrim said, Now we must show what we can do, and went at it once more, till the stones sprang up sky high, and thus they got up. Woohoo! Then the lad rode into the mountain cleft at full gallop and caught up the princess on his saddle bow, and then out again before the troll even had time to stand up, and thus the princess was set free. Oh, so it was just how strong, fast the horse could run to get up the wall. But okay. He didn't have to fight the troll. Well, I was kind of hoping. When the youth returned to the palace, the king was both happy and delighted to get his daughter back again, as may easily be believed. Okay. There's still too much story left. He's going to do the bit where it's like, well, now you have to prove yourself again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Okay, fine, I'll give up. Which is just a bunch of bullshit. This is why we had to make contracts and lawyers started happening, I think. Okay. When the youth returned to the palace, the king was both happy and delighted to get his daughter back again, as may easily be believed. But somehow or other... Oh, no. Sorry. Okay. Somehow or other, the people about the court had so worked on him that he was angry with the lad, too. "Thou shalt have my thanks for setting my princess free," he said, when the youth came into the palace with her, and was then about to go away. "She ought to be just as much my princess as she is yours now, for you are a man of your word," said the youth. "Yes, yes," said the king. "Have her thou shalt, as I have said it, but first of all, thou must make the sun shine into my palace here." There was a large and high hill outside the windows which overshadowed the palace so much that the sun could not shine in. "That was no part of our bargain," answered the youth. "That was no part of our bargain. But as nothing that I can say will move you, I suppose I shall have to try to do my best for the princess I will have." So he went down to Dapplegrim again and told him what the king desired, and Dapplegrim thought that it might easily be done. But first of all he must have new shoes, and 10 pounds of iron and 12 pounds of steel must go into making them. And 2 smiths were also necessary. You just did this, but okay, fine, you need new shoes. 1 to hammer and 1 to hold, and then it would be very easy to make the sun shine into the king's palace. The lad asked for these things and obtained them instantly, for the king thought that for very shame he could not refuse to give them, and so Dapplegrim got new shoes, and they were good ones. The youth seated himself on him, and once more they went their way, and for each hop that Dapplegrim made, down went the hill 15 ells into the earth, and so they went on until there was no hill left for the king to see. So he's just like stomping. Oh no, enlightenments, that's awful. That's a terrible Riz. I'm sorry, the bot is not nice. I'm sorry. Maybe a different number will be good. I don't know. Okay. The hills are falling down. When the youth came down again to the king's palace, he asked the king if the princess should not at last. So sorry. Should not at last be his. For now no one could say that the sun was not shining into the palace. But the other people in the palace had again stirred up the king, and he answered that the youth should never have her, and that he had never intended that he should not. But first of all he must... What? Okay, hold on. Answered that the youth should have her. Oh, okay, so yes, you should. And he never intended that you wouldn't. But first of all he must get her... He must get her quite as good a horse to ride to the wedding as that which he had himself. Okay, there you go. You can marry her now, but you have to get a good enough horse. I misread that. I thought he was saying no. Hey, 15. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you did better. I don't know. Enlightenments, hey, at least you got a 14. Sometimes it's like you get a really bad number of one, but you get a good number in one of them. And eventually you get a good number. Okay. So you have to get the good horse. The youth said that the king had never told him he was to do that, and it seemed to him that he had now really earned the princess. But the king stuck to what he had said, and if the youth were unable to do he was to lose his life, the king said. Frick off with that. The youth went down to the stable again, and very sad and sorrowful he was, as anyone may well imagine. Then he told Dapplegrim that the king had now required that he should get the princess as good a bridal horse as that which the bridegroom have, or he should lose his life. But that will be no easy thing to do. Okay, jeez, my brain. But that will be no easy thing to do, said he, for your equal is not to be found in all the world. Ooh, thank you for the follow. Mr. Mycool22, thank you for joining us. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Yeah, the youth is saying, no one's as good as you. How am I supposed to do this? Oh, yes, there is one to match me, said Dapplegrim, but it will not be easy to get him, for he is underground. However, we will try. Now you must go up to the king and ask for new shoes for me. Again, really? And for them we must again have 10 pounds of iron, 12 pounds of steel, and 2 smiths, one to hammer and one to hold. But be very particular to see that the hooks are very sharp. And you must also ask for 12 barrels of rye and 12 slaughtered oxen. What? 12 slaughtered oxen must we have with us. Why? Ooh, bad roll. Sorry, Lahonk. Enlightenments. You guys have some nice loves. And love the other way, even better. Very one-sided. Yeah, very quite one-sided, but okay. Alright. Why he need new shoes? Why he always need new shoes? And this time, why does he need dead oxen? Okay. And all the 12 ox hides with 1,200 spikes set in each of them. Why? What? All these things must we have. Likewise, a barrel of tar with 12 tons of tar in it. What? Carnivorous horse. I don't know. And he is using them. He stomped down a hill pretty good. He's using them, but it's just like, could it not be expected? Okay, we did a big thing. Get new shoes already. But okay. Alright, fine. Tar. Okay. The youth went to the king and asked for all the things that Dapplegrim had named, and once more, as the king thought that it would be disgraceful to refuse them to him, he obtained them all. So he mounted Dapplegrim and rode away from the court, and when he had ridden for a long, long time over hills and moors, Dapplegrim asked, "Do you hear anything?" "Yes, there is such a dreadful whistling up above in the air that I think I am growing alarmed," said the youth. "That is all the wild birds in the forest flying about. They are sent to stop us," said Dapplegrim. "But just cut a hole in the corn sacks, and they will be so busy with the corn that they will forget us." Aha! Trick. Good. The youth did it. He cut holes in the corn sacks so that barley and rye ran out on every side, and all the wild birds that were in the forest came in such numbers that they darkened the sun. But when they caught sight of the corn, they could not refrain from it, but flew down and began to scratch and pick at the corn and rye. And at last they began to fight amongst themselves, and forgot all about the youth and Dapplegrim, and did them no harm. And now the youth rode onwards for a long, long time over hill and dale, over rocky places and morasses. And then Dapplegrim began to listen again, and asked the youth if he heard anything now. No. Okay. If you heard anything now. Yes, I hear such a dreadful crackling and crashing in the forest on every side that I think I shall be really afraid. I don't know what it is. Shh. Don't be mean. I don't recognize the word on the page. It's okay. Yes, okay, so there was... He's going to be very afraid. This is all the wild beasts in the forest. They are sent, said Dapplegrim. They are sent to stop us. But just throw out the 12 carcasses of the oxen. Aha, that's why the beast. And they will be so much occupied with them that they will quite forget us. So the youth threw out the carcasses of the oxen, and then all the wild beasts in the forest, both bears and wolves and lions. Again, okay, so this says bears. This says both, but it's actually like a bunch of different animals. Both implies two for us, but I guess the word used to mean kind of more all. But bears, wolves, lions, grim beasts of all kinds came. But when they caught sight of the carcasses of the oxen, they began to fight for them till the blood flowed, and they entirely forgot Dapplegrim and the youth. So the youth rode onwards again, and many were the new scenes they saw, for travelling on Dapplegrim's back was not travelling slowly, as may be imagined. And then Dapplegrim neighed. "Do you hear anything?" he said. "Yes, I heard something like a foal neighing, quite plainly, a long way off," answered the youth. "That's a full-grown colt," said Dapplegrim, "if you hear it so plainly when it is so far away from us." So they travelled onwards a long time, and saw one new scene after another once more. Then Dapplegrim neighed again. "Do you hear anything now?" "Yes, now I heard it quite distinctly, and it neighed like a full-grown horse," answered the youth. "Yes, and you will hear it again very soon," said Dapplegrim. "And then you will hear what a voice it has." So they travelled on through many more different kinds of country, and then Dapplegrim neighed for the third time. But before he could ask the youth if he heard anything, there was such a neighing on the other side of the heath that the youth thought that the hills and rocks would be rent in pieces. "Now he is here," said Dapplegrim. "Be quick, and fling over me the ox hides that have the spikes on them. Throw the 12 tons of tar over the field, and climb up into that great spruce fir tree. When he comes, fire will spurt out of both his nostrils, and then the tar will catch fire. Now mark what I say. If the flame ascends, I conquer, and if it sinks, I fail. But if you see that I am winning, fling the bridle, which you must take off me, over his head, and then he will become quite gentle." Ooh. Ah. Yes. Same way. I don't know what it means, but it do sound like. Yes, you're right. Oh, I have a hydrate. I will do a quick hydrate. Thank you for that enlightenment. Okay. Just as the youth had flung all the hides with the spikes over Dapplegrim and the tar over the field, and had got safely up into the spruce fir, a horse came with came with flames spouting from his nostrils, and the tar caught fire in a moment, and Dapplegrim and the horse began to fight until the stones leapt up to the sky. They bit and they fought with their fore legs and their hind legs, and sometimes the youth looked at them, and sometimes he looked at the tar. But at last the flames began to rise, for whosoever the strange horse bit, or wheresoever it bit, or wheresoever he kicked, he hit upon the spikes in the hides, and at length he had to yield. When the youth saw that, he was not long in getting down from the tree and flinging the bridle over the horse's head, and then he became so tame that he might have been led by a thin string. This horse was dappled too, and so like Dapplegrim that no one could distinguish the one from the other. The youth seated himself on the dappled horse which he had captured, and rode home again to the king's palace, and Dapplegrim ran loose by his side. When he got there, the king was standing outside in the courtyard. "Can you tell me which is the horse I have caught, and which is the one I had before?" said the youth. "If you can't, I think your daughter is mine." The king went and looked at both the dappled horses. He looked high and he looked low. He looked before and he looked behind, but there was not a hair's difference between the two. Well, theoretically. No, there was a long return. Maybe he had healed. I was like, the one that has more scratches is the one that lost. But anyway. Okay. No, said the king, that I cannot tell thee, and thou hast procured such a splendid bridal horse for my daughter, thou shalt have her. But first, oh no, we must have one more trial. Great, just to see if thou art fated to have her. She shall hide herself twice, and then thou shalt hide thyself twice. If thou canst find her each time that she hides herself, and if she cannot find thee in thy hiding places, then it is fated, and thou shalt have the princess. Why is that how you know how it's fated? I feel like that's giving a bad moral. Yes, know where the girl hides, but oh, don't let her know where you hide. Does thoroughly suggest clear vulnerability and power issues, but okay. Okay. That too was not in our bargain, said the youth, but we will make this trial since it must be so. So the king's daughter was to hide herself first. On the other hand, it's kind of cute that it's just like, okay, now go play hide and seek with each other. Go play. But okay. So yes, she hid herself first. Then she changed herself into a duck. What's with the ducks? Okay, fine. She changed herself into a duck and lay swimming in a lake that was just outside the palace. But the youth went down into the stable and asked Dapplegrim what she had done with herself. Oh, all that you have to do is take your gun and go down to the water and aim at the duck which is swimming out there, and she will soon discover herself, said Dapplegrim. Why does the horse say go threaten her? I don't like it. It's so ridiculous, but okay, here we go. The youth snatched up his gun and ran to the lake. I will just have a shot at that duck, said he, and began to aim at it. Oh, no, dear friend, don't shoot. It is I, said the princess, so he had found her once. A second time the princess changed herself into a loaf of bread and laid herself on the table among 4 other loaves. And she was so like the other loaves that no one could see any difference between them. But the youth again went down to the stable to Dapplegrim and told him that the princess had hidden herself again, and that he had not the least idea what had become of her. Oh, just take a very large bread knife, sharpen it, and pretend that you are going to cut straight through the third of the 4 loaves which are lying on the kitchen table in the king's palace. Count them from left to right, and you will soon find her. Did our youth know that she had turned into a duck and was just like, which duck? Or did the youth not know at all of any of this? Because if he knew that it was like, oh, she's the duck, and oh, she will be bred, then the threatening makes sense. But if not, what the heck? But okay. So the youth went up to the kitchen and began to sharpen the largest bread knife that he could find. Then he caught hold of the 3rd loaf on the left-hand side and put the knife to it as if he meant to cut it straight in 2. I will have a bit of this bread for myself, said he. No, dear friend, don't cut it. It is I, said the princess again, so he had found her for the 2nd time. And now it was his turn to go and hide himself, but Dapplegrim had given him such good instructions that it was not easy to find him. First he turned himself into a horsefly, and hid himself in Dapplegrim's left nostril. Ooh. The princess went poking about and searching everywhere, high and low, and wanted to go into Dapplegrim's stall too, but he began to bite and kick about, so that she was afraid to go there, and could not find the youth. Would she have known if she had looked in his nostril? Anyway. Well, said she, as I am unable to find you, you must show yourself. Whereupon the youth immediately appeared, standing there on the stable floor. None of them are reasonable Rabbit Imperial Guard. They're all so odd. It's just a little bit of a different spectrum. What kind of odd is it today? None of them have great logic. Anyway, okay. So whereupon the youth immediately appeared standing there on the stable floor. Dapplegrim told him what he was to do the 2nd time, and he turned himself into a lump of earth and stuck himself between the hoof and the shoe on Dapplegrim's left 4 foot. Once more the king's daughter went and sought everywhere, inside and outside, until at last she came to the stable and wanted to go into the stall beside Dapplegrim. So this time he allowed her to go into it, and she peered about high and low, but she could not look under his hoofs, for he stood
much too firmly on his legs for that, and she could not find the youth. "Well, you will just have to show where you are yourself, for I can't find you," said the princess, and in an instant the youth was standing by her side on the floor of the stable. "Now you are mine," said he to the princess. "Now you can see that it is fated that she should be mine," he said to the king. "Yes, fated it is," said the king. "So what must be must. What must be must," my brain. Then everything was made ready for the wedding with great splendor and promptitude, and the youth rode to church on Dapplegrim, and the king's daughter rode on the other horse. So everyone must see that they could not be long on their way thither. The end. Well, all right. That was the end of that one. Goofy and a heck of a ride as it was. Oh, that is quite long. As slow as we are. Yes, the 12 brothers will be more our speed. That will be plenty. Okay, just checking which story we should go into next. Did that have a moral? No, that one did not have a moral. Just kind of a little bit of the man should be able to find the woman thing. Make sure to not let anyone else grow up so that you can monopolize and you can get big and strong. Maybe that. Maybe something you could learn from it. Maybe don't run away from your family and expect them to remember that you're still alive when it was the old days and they didn't have easy way to message each other, because that's how he almost didn't get things. But oh well. Howdy partner, howdy. So it was a silly time, that story. But okay, now we will do this trigger word, not a word, whole freaking wall of text, and then scissors and typing. Okay. Oh, what's this? I should do this first. Okay. She was on vacation with her husband, and they were scoping out graveyards on the way, as you do, when she saw it. I didn't read that. And she was... Ugh, my gosh, my brain. I'm just like running through all the words. I'm not really giving them their time. I'm sorry. Okay. She was on vacation with her husband, and they were scoping out graveyards on the way, as you do, when she saw it. Rising out of the old cemetery, big as an old macabre telephone pole. Was this some kind of bizarre art piece the authorities hadn't gotten wise to yet? Big as an old macabre telephone pole, or big was? I'm confused by what this is. Where did you find this, Bratty? Okay. Yes, you has returned, Dimda. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Oh, and the mic springs reverb got hidden. I will also do that. But okay. Here we go with scissor snips again. From the Siren Head Wiki. Okay. Alright. Here we go. Scissors. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna do the scissors and then I have to run an ad. An ad will forcibly run if I don't. Okay.
Okay, there was scissors. And now I will run a quick ad and then we'll move along to the next typing. My limits has been reached. Yes, yes it has. Ha. Okay. There we go with. Oh, come on. Typing. Noisy little mic. Okay, there was typing. And then we'll do the reverbs and the paper guillotine, and then we move on. Okay. It's a very weird instrument to play, and I'm still figuring out how to make it cooperate. The springs on this thing, they're weird. But okay. Alright. Now, the paper guillotine. Paper cutter. And there we go with that all wrapped up. Thank you for the follow, Glitter Squid Stuffs. Ooh, Glitter Squid Stuffs. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. The next story is the 12 Brothers. That's what we're reading now. Still squished in text. So we'll do that. And I'm gonna guess that this is our last story. Yeah, it's our last story. But we'll read this one and then we'll prep to go. Here we go. There we go. I've been in quiet lurk mode. I've had my eyes on chat to worry, but I gotta head off. Okay. Go sleep, Cage. Have a good sleep. You don't wanna go. I'm back tomorrow, and I'll be up to make sure that these get uploaded to the VOD, or at least get started sorting that out. But okay. Here we go. The 12 Brothers. There was once upon a time a king and a queen who lived happily together, and they had 12 children, all of whom were boys. Is this going to be the same as the last one? I don't think so, but oh my. One day the king said to his wife, "If our 13th child is a girl, all her 12 brothers must die, so that she may be very rich and the kingdom hers alone." What? You know, I've never heard someone say that in one of these. That's a heck of a choice. Usually we don't care about daughters, because that's not how the line of succession works, but let's just share something. Okay, interesting setup. All right. Then he ordered 12 coffins to be made. What? And filled them with shavings, and placed a little pillow in each. These he put away in an empty room, and giving the key to his wife, he bade her tell no one of it. What in the fuck? The queen grieved over the sad fate of her sons and refused to be comforted. So much so that the youngest boy, who was always with her, and whom she had christened Benjamin, said to her one day, "Dear mother, why are you so sad?" My child, she answered, I may not tell you the reason. But he left her no peace till she went and unlocked the room and showed him the 12 coffins filled with shavings, and with a little pillow laid in each. Then she said, My dearest Benjamin, your father has had these coffins made for you and your 11 brothers, because if I bring a girl into the world, you are to be killed and buried in them. I guess maybe he's just like, I hate women so much, I will kill all of your children if you give me a girl. But, like, that's not the way he said it. He said it as she's going to have all the best things, so screw the boys. But, like, what in the fork? Okay. She wept bitterly, and as she spoke, but her son comforted her and said, Don't cry, dear mother. We'll manage to escape somehow, and we'll fly for our lives. You don't even know. It might still be a boy. The pattern would suggest. Yes, replied his mother, that is what you must do. Go with your 11 brothers out into the wood, and let one of you always sit on the highest tree you can find, keeping watch on the tower of the castle. If I give birth to a little son, I will wave a white flag, and then you may safely return. But if I give birth to a little daughter, I will wave a red flag, which will warn you to fly away as quickly as you can, and may the kind heaven have pity on you. Every night I will get up and pray for you, in winter, that you may always have a fire to warm yourselves by, and in summer, that you may not languish in the heat. Then she blessed her sons, and they set out into the wood. They found a very high oak tree, and there they sat, turn about, keeping their eyes always fixed on the castle tower. On the 12th day, when the turn came to Benjamin, he noticed a flag waving in the air, but alas, it was not white, but blood red, the sign which told them they must all die. When the brothers heard this, they were very angry and said, Shall we forsooth suffer death for the sake of a wretched girl? Yeah, okay, we're leaning towards women suck for this. All right, cooties are serious business. Scratch Fury. Good to see you, Scratch Fury. We read one of your recommendations earlier today in the other stream, by the way. One of the SCP suggestions. Pretty sure. Anyway, I know that I've read one of yours very recently. Not very. Anyway, okay. Wretched girl, let us swear vengeance and vow that wherever and whenever we shall meet one of her sex, she shall die at our hands. So they just want to kill all women now? Jeez. This is not good. Then they went their way deeper into the wood, and in the middle of it, where it was thickest and darkest, they came upon a little enchanted house which stood empty. Here, they said, let us take up our abode, and you, Benjamin. Oh no. Sorry, I'm attacked. You, Benjamin, you are the youngest and weakest. You shall stay at home and keep our house for us. We others will go out and fetch wood. I don't like the implied. Okay. So they went forth into the wood and shot hares and roe deer, birds and wood pigeons, and any other game they came across. They always brought their spoils home to Benjamin, who soon learnt to make them into dainty dishes. So they lived for 10 years in this little house, and the time slipped merrily away. So he was becoming a bit of a chef. Cool. In the meantime, their little sister at home was growing up quickly. She was kind-hearted and of a fair countenance, and she had a gold star right in the middle of her forehead. Naturally? Wow. One day a big washing was going on at the palace, and the girl, looking down from her window, saw 12 men's shirts hanging up to dry, and asked her mother, Who in the world do these shirts belong to? Surely they are far too small for my father. And the queen answered sadly, Dear child, they belong to your 12 brothers. She's old enough to talk, so I'm going to guess she's minimum 2 years old. You haven't seen your sons in 2 years, and you're still holding on to their stuff? And you're washing it for them? And you haven't washed it in 2 years? Wow. Lot of problems with that, but okay. Um, they belong to your 12 brothers. But where are my 12 brothers? Said the girl. I have never even heard of them. Heaven alone knows in what part of the wide world they are wandering, replied her mother. Then she took the girl and opened the locked-up room. She showed her the 12 coffins filled with shavings, and with the little pillow laid in each. These coffins, she said, were intended for your brothers, but they stole secretly away before you were born. Then she, to tell her all that had happened, and when she had finished, her daughter said, Do not cry, dearest mother. I will go and seek my brothers till I find them. That's not likely to end well. Okay. So she took the 12 shirts and went on straight into the middle of the big wood. She walked all day long and came in the evening to the enchanted... She's delivering their laundry. I don't like this. Okay. She walked all day long and came in the evening to the little enchanted house. She stepped in and found a youth who, marveling at her beauty, at the royal robes she wore, and at the golden star on her forehead, asked her where she came from and whither she was going. I'm a princess, she answered, and am seeking for my 12 brothers. I mean to wander as far as the blue sky stretches over the earth till I find them. Ooh, thank you for the follow. If I can find a good username. You did. You found a good username. I like it. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the follow. A bonk. Welcome. I want to click on you now. Who is that? Merm. Fun. Okay. Anyway, I focus. She said I mean to wander as far as the blue sky stretches over the earth till I find them. Then she showed him the 12 shirts which she had taken with her, and Benjamin saw that it must be his sister, and said, I am Benjamin, your youngest brother. So they wept for joy, and kissed and hugged each other again and again. After a time Benjamin said, Dear sister, there is still a little difficulty, for we had all agreed that any girl we met should die at our hands, because it was for the sake of a girl that we had to leave our kingdom. But, she replied, I will gladly die if by that means I can restore my 12 brothers to their own. Girl, no. No, he answered. Good, there is no need for that. Only go and hide under that tub till our 11 brothers come in, and I'll soon make matters right with them. I worry that he won't, but okay. She did as she was bid, and soon the others came home from the chase and sat down to supper. Well, Benjamin, what's the news? They asked, but he replied, I like that. Have you nothing to tell me? No, they answered. Then he said, Well, now you've been out in the wood all day, and I've stayed quietly at home, and all the same I know more than you do. Then tell us, they cried. Yet why are you asking what the news is, other brothers, when he's been at home the whole time? But okay, fine. I had to go to bed. Prep procrastination going too far. I work at 10 a.m. Really gonna run off this time. Yes, go, Cage, go. I don't know what those words mean. Swift 429. I'm sorry, I don't know. But welcome. Oh, thank you for the follow, Swift 4209. Thank you for joining us. Okay. Okay. Anyway, he's like, yeah, I know things and you don't. Whatever. Okay. What's good with it? Oh. Thank you for the translation, Cage. Now go away. Go to bed. Go sleep. Okay. I'm not terribly great with that. All right. I'm in the middle of a story, so I get distracted so easily. I need to focus. We are nearing the end. We can do this. Okay. Then, oh yes, so he said, I know things and you don't. Then tell us, they cried. But he answered, only on condition that you promise faithfully that the first girl we meet shall not be killed. She shall be spared, they promised. Only tell us the news. So I guess they haven't killed any women yet? Yay? Weird little pact that they did. Then Benjamin said, our sister is here, and he lifted up the tub, and the princess stepped forward with her royal robes and with a golden star on her forehead, looking so lovely and sweet and charming that they all fell in love with her on the spot. I come in and someone already died. No, just
thoroughly threatened. But okay, she lives. She lives. They fell in love with her. Yay! Yay for not killing. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. They fell in love with her on the spot. They arranged that she should stay at home with Benjamin and help him in the housework, of course, while the rest of the brothers went out into the wood and shot hares and roe deer, birds and wood pigeons. And Benjamin and his sister cooked their meals for them. She gathered herbs to cook the vegetables in, fetched the wood, and watched the pots on the fire, and always when her 11 brothers returned, she had their supper ready for them. Yay! I will also say, since she's like fully cooking, I'm gonna guess she's got to be minimum 8 years old, maybe younger. But I'm gonna guess if she's fully in charge of all the knives, yeah. And so it's been 8 years that they've been out, and they still haven't met a woman and killed anyone. You guys aren't going anywhere, are you? Okay. Anyway, I mean, good that they're not meeting people and actually accidentally getting found out as the princes that should have died. But like, still, boo. No, boo. Considering the people they were killing is just any women they meet, don't boo the not killing, please. Okay, so all right, they made a weird pact. It's a very weird time. Okay, but all right, they lived. Yeah, you didn't know. It's okay. So she's gathering the foods, but I'm glad they haven't done that. She gathered herbs to cook the vegetables in, fetched the wood, watched the pots on the fire, always made sure the supper was ready for them. Besides this, she kept the house in order, of course, tidied all the rooms, and made herself so generally useful that her brothers were delighted, and they all lived happily together. Yay! Ugh. One day, the two at home prepared a fine feast, and when they were all assembled, they sat down and ate and drank and made merry. I don't see this going wrong at all. If you didn't have that frickin' emote, I'd be concerned. But okay, here we go. Now there was a little garden round the enchanted house, in which grew 12 tall lilies. Okay. The girl, wishing to please her brothers, plucked the 12 flowers, meaning to represent one to each of them as they sat at supper. But hardly had she plucked the flowers, when her brothers were turned into 12 ravens, who flew croaking over the wood, and the house and garden vanished also. Interesting. Okay, but also, I meant to say this before, but they just moved into this house. They didn't care that this probably should belong to someone? No, we don't care about that? Okay, cool. Maybe they could have explained the lilies and how they turn you into ravens if you pluck them? No? All right. But okay. They've been turned into ravens who flew. I know. Yawn attack. Okay, they turned into ravens who flew croaking over the wood, and the house and the garden vanished also. So the house and garden are gone. The brothers are gone. So the girl found herself left all alone in the wood, and as she looked round her, she noticed an old woman standing close beside her, who said, I guess it's her house, "My child, what have you done? Why didn't you leave the flowers alone? They were your 12 brothers. Now they are changed forever into ravens." For and ever, 2 separate words. Oh, olden times. But how would she have known, lady? How would she have known? Don't go blaming her. The girl asked, sobbing, "Is there no means of setting them free?" "No," said the old woman. "There is only one way in the whole world," which means yes. What the fuck? There's only one way in the whole world, and that is so difficult that you won't free them by it, for you would have to be dumb and not laugh for 7 years. And if you spoke a single word, though but an hour were wanting for the time, your silence would all have been in vain, and that one word would slay your brothers. But she's already talking, so it's like as soon as she stops trying to talk? No? Okay. Anyway. When did it start? I don't know. Okay. Then the girl said to herself, "If that is all, I am quite sure I can free my brothers." So she searched for a high tree. When she had found one, she climbed up it and spun all day long, never laughing or speaking one word. Okay, so literally, as soon as the lady said it, she just started. But okay, here we go. Don't mess with flowers near magic houses. Well, she didn't really know that it was magic. She just knew that it was here. But okay. Oh boy. Okay. So, and now she's gone. She's hiding and not doing any of that. Okay, now it happened one day that a king who was hunting in the wood had a large greyhound who ran sniffing to the tree on which the girl sat and jumped round it, yelping and barking furiously. The king's attention was attracted, and when he looked up and beheld the beautiful princess sat with a golden star on her forehead, he was so enchanted by her beauty that he asked her on the spot to be his wife. She gave no answer, but nodded slightly with her head. Then he climbed up the tree himself, lifted her down, put her on his horse, and bore her home to his palace. If you wanted your brother safe, you probably should have said no and just stayed in the tree. But okay. The marriage was celebrated with much pomp and ceremony, but the bride neither spoke nor laughed. When they had lived a few years happily together, the king's mother, who was a wicked old woman, began to slander the young queen, and said to the king, "She is only a low-born beggar maid that you have married. Who knows what mischief she is up to? If she is deaf and can't speak, she might at least laugh." Well, she's not deaf. She obviously heard you ask. But anyway, she might at least laugh. Depend upon it. Those who don't laugh have a bad conscience. Now, normally, I would kind of think it would be odd. You never ever laugh, but I have a feeling she's gonna say, like, the risks are gonna be high for no good reason. But okay. But just as she had been bound... What? Oh, I skipped over. Oh my gosh, I was like, where? Okay, at first the king paid no heed to her words, but the old woman harped so long on the subject and accused the young woman of so many bad things that at last he let himself be talked over and condemned his beautiful wife to death. Of course. Yep. So a great fire was lit in the courtyard of the palace, where she was meant to be burnt, and the king watched the proceedings from an upper window, crying bitterly the while, for he still loved his wife dearly. But just as she had been bound to the stake, and the flames were licking her garments with their red tongues, the very last moment of the 7 years had come, and then a sudden rushing sound was heard in the air, and 12 ravens were seen flying overhead. They swooped downwards, and as soon as they had touched the ground, they turned into her 12 brothers, and she knew that she had freed them. They quenched the flames and put out the fire. That's the same thing, but okay. And unbinding their dear sister from the stake, they kissed and hugged her again and again. And now that she was able to open her mouth and speak, she told the king why she had been dumb and not able to laugh. The king rejoiced greatly when he heard she was innocent, and they all lived happily ever afterwards. The end. My concerns? Did anybody ever talk to Mom? The brothers were there for, my estimate, minimum 8 years. And then she was planning to just hide in the tree for 7 years. And this guy came along and she really thought that she was going to pull off not talking to him when she got married. That's a bad idea. If she had died, it's still, she wouldn't have been talking or laughing. Would that have still let her brothers be free after the 7 years? Well, so many things are chaos with that story, but most predominantly, why did we have to hate on women so hard in that one? It was awful. What the hell is with that? Okay. I wouldn't say with a man that was going to burn me. You wouldn't stay with a man? Yeah, I would maybe, she knew that people run away. If you knew that he's doing this, but maybe she didn't know. But anyway, it's very weird. This whole thing is very interesting. But classic with these fairy tales. Okay, I guess I'll do a stretch, some glass jar tappy taps. We're probably not going to get around to another story. There's just not quite enough time. We might raid out a bit early, which is rare. I don't normally do that, but I've had a bunch of staying lates, so I might as well. Okay. Do that. Transition. That was a fever dream of a story. Most of them are, but they're usually not so blatantly misogynistic. Yes, if there's a daughter, we'll have to kill all the brothers. Why? 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 Okay. All right, boys, because a woman was going to get us killed, we kill every woman we see. You hear me? Why is that your decision? Why? It was also a woman that saved you. Your mother sent you away. Your mother saved you. Your dad was the one that was going to kill you for no reason. Most of them, all of them are. They are all. These old stories are always a ride. Oh my gosh. Okay. Adjust. Jack, my hedgehog. I recently sent it to a friend, so I had to look it up. Jack, my hedgehog was such a freaking fever dream. Oh my gosh. It was nuts. I loved it. It was crazy. Okay. I'm not seeing anything wrong with this story at all. That was sarcastic. Thank you for the specification. I can be slow with knowing when it is and isn't. But, yeah. Based on your previous sarcasm, I probably would have guessed. But, wow. Nah, you need to share. It's not only yours. Oh. This was just wild. Okay, glass jar. We're moving on to tappy taps and wrapping up for the night. I'll say we can do a few redeems. I've got time for quite a few redeems, so feel free to request those. Or we can keep talking about the nonsense. No, that's fine. Sarcasm is hard to see in text for me too. Yeah, it's hard with text. I can also be bad about it in person though too sometimes. Okay, tappies. Shush Raven. Alright. Alright, that was glass jar. And we'll do dice next, but I'll quickly read this too. Okay. Even as she stepped out of the car, the megaphones on its head screeched to life. 9, 18, 1, child, 17, remove, vile. A buzzing, doubled voice screamed random words at her. At this point, it jerked into motion, striding down the hill towards her. What was that one? I don't know what that one was. Okay, brain. Yes, that's what it was. That's what we was doing. Okay. Yep, and we're doing that.
Dice. Okay. Megaphone with legs? It seems like it's something has megaphones on its head. Siren head. Yeah, would make sense. Okay, here we go. Pretty low numbers I rolled. 1, 4, 3, 2, 20, 0, 4. Alright. Every time. That dice is gone. I don't know where. 11. Who's the 6th of it? Okay. Still not very many high numbers. I am not eating my dice. They are just rolling away. My d20 was a 2 that time. I'm only getting worse. Okay. Ah, yes. Dice tray might be nice. But I play with them in my hands first. And then I let them roll. So, yeah. My d20 has only rolled one number that was 2 digits. It was only 11. All the rest was under 10. But okay, there's that. I will find other die. But then it's time to raid out. So who do we have for suggestions? Oh, dice. Why are you so difficult? Haha, found. Caledonia. Well, they're Crittersville, of course. There is. What's Caledonia do? Remember we want ASMRs or other cozy, quiet stuffs. But okay. Let's do for this. Okay. I was doing that. Okay. Alright, we will look at oh wait, never mind. Are they not ASMR? Are they not on? She finished already. Ah, darn. Okay. A friend of mine called. I want to say no because I'm worried about sounds. But that's fair. That's very fair. Then you know what? We'll go to Crittersville. we'll go to Crittersville. It's just me and Vi that you follow? That's so nice. I feel so special. Critterville, USA. We'll go over to them. Oh wait, Nightly VT? Nightly is a good one to support. We'll go with Nightly. Sorry. That's a good choice. Ah, we want to help support each other in the community. That's the nice thing about this. So I like to go with that if we can. Aha. Yeah, you're out. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to go into Nightly. Nightly has a little Garfield. It's cute. We're going to see in a bit. Critterville does never disappoint, but I think Nightly's just about there too. So we'll go over there. So, I'm gonna prep our messages. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait, I messed that up. I'm not the only one that does that. And then the other one, if you don't have the Raven, the old reliable Critterville. I'm sorry. Okay, we have our other raid message in case you don't have the frogs. Okay, so there you go. That's how we're ready. You guys ready? Lahonk's all bouncy. Good to see you excited, Lahonk, and not murdery. We wanna be nice to our new friends if we can. But thank you so much for listening and watching today. I'm back on tomorrow. We'll be doing the same schedule. I'll do recommendations from the SCPs in the first stream, and then more fairy tales in the second one in the evening. Alright. Thank you so much for watching. And now I will start into raid. Make sure you have those messages prepared. Okay, okay. We raiding. We go. Woo! Okay, we went.